Elena Mukhina was once the pride of Soviet gymnastics, a name whispered with awe and admiration across the world. In 1978, at just 18 years old, she stunned audiences at the World Championships in Strasbourg, defeating some of the most celebrated athletes of her time. Her routines were flawless, her presence magnetic, and her smile radiant and full of promise. For many, Elena wasn't just a gymnast, she was the embodiment of Soviet perfection, the symbol of what hard work, discipline, and sacrifice could achieve. But behind that golden image was a young woman quietly drowning under impossible expectations. The Soviet gymnastic system was relentless. Success wasn't just a goal, it was an obligation. Athletes were pushed to their physical and mental limits, their worth measured in medals and their loyalty tested through pain. Elena had achieved greatness, but greatness in that world was never enough. As the 1980 Moscow Olympics approached, her coaches wanted more, something that would cement Soviet dominance in front of the entire world. They demanded that she master one of the most dangerous moves ever performed in women's gymnastics, the salto. A tumbling pass that required a full backflip with 1.5 twists, followed by a blind landing. It was a move that even male gymnasts found perilous. But in the Soviet system, refusal was not an option. Elena knew the risk. She knew that one small mistake could end her career, or worse. But she was young, patriotic, and surrounded by voices that told her pain was temporary and glory eternal. Day after day, she practiced the move, her body bruised and exhausted, her confidence quietly eroding. She begged her coaches for more time, but the clock to the Olympics was ticking, and the pressure was unbearable. Then, in 1979, during what should have been just another training session, the nightmare happened. As she launched into the salto, her body didn't rotate fast enough. In midair, she realized she was falling, not toward a mat, not toward safety, but toward a devastating impact. She crashed headfirst into the floor. The sound was sickening. When her teammates and coaches rushed to her side, she couldn't move. In that instant, Elena Mukhina, the reigning world champion, the girl destined to shine at the Moscow Olympics, had broken her neck. The injury severed her spinal cord, leaving her paralyzed from the neck down. She was only 19. News of her accident spread quickly, but in typical Soviet fashion, it was kept quiet from the public. The state didn't want the world to see its golden gymnast, its symbol of power and perfection, reduced to a hospital bed. For years, her condition was shrouded in secrecy, while Elena herself endured unimaginable suffering. She could no longer walk, flip, or even feed herself. Every breath was a reminder of what had been taken from her. Yet despite everything, Elena's spirit refused to break. In rare interviews later in life, she spoke openly about the pressures she faced, how fear and obedience had led her to attempt a move she knew was dangerous. She didn't speak with bitterness, but with clarity, as if trying to warn future generations of athletes about the deadly cost of blind ambition. She once said, "I wanted to say that gymnastics is not worth your life, but I said it too late." Those words still echo across the sport today, a haunting reminder of the moment when one of the brightest talents in gymnastics was extinguished by a system that valued victory over humanity. Elena lived for more than 2 decades after her accident, confined to her bed, but never forgotten by those who knew her story. Friends described her as intelligent, thoughtful, and full of quiet dignity, even as her body betrayed her. She spent her remaining years in Moscow, cared for by her family, until her passing in December 2006. She was only 46 years old. The salto, the move that destroyed her life, was later banned from women's gymnastics, deemed too dangerous ever to be performed again. It stands today as a permanent warning of what happens when human limits are ignored in pursuit of perfection. Elena Mukhina's story is one of brilliance and tragedy, of a young woman who reached the pinnacle of her sport, only to be broken by the very system that created her. Her fall wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. exposing the brutal reality behind the glittering facade of Soviet gymnastics. But her legacy endures, not as a champion who won medals, but as a cautionary voice for all athletes who are told to ignore their fears, to silence their pain, to push beyond reason. Elena Mukhina never got her Olympic moment, but through her story, the world learned a truth that no gold medal could ever teach: that greatness without compassion is hollow, and that sometimes the price of glory is far too high.